Hey, this is UNC Tar Heel, Pete Chilcutt, and you're listening to The Final Score with Stevie Fly.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to The Final Score with Matthew and
Stevie Fly. What's up, guys? It is Thursday afternoon, 5:22. Hope you guys have had a good day. Kind of dreary outside today, like a lot of clouds and not really a raining, but misty. It's just a dreary day, but it's a whole lot better than 14-degree weather. Well, I think it's like, there's a temperature right now, 66 degrees in January. At 5:20 in the afternoon, it's 66 degrees. I hope you guys had a great weekend. We had the divisional playoffs this past weekend. We're gonna talk about those games, and then we've got big news on the coaches front. A lot of coaching vacancies were filled. Some still to be filled, but and some rumored to be filled. We'll see about that. First, let's get into the coaching changes, and the big one right off the top. Jim Harbaugh leaving new national champion Michigan, the Michigan Wolverines, to take the LA Chargers head coaching job. This is really not that big of a shocker. I think this has been a done deal for a while. He was infatuated with Justin Herbert, and the fact that he can get out of Michigan without getting suspended again for whatever he did, it's a no-brainer. And I mean, and then of course you look at the schedule next year. The Harbaugh versus Harbaugh brothers face off against each other next year as the Ravens take on the Chargers. Got to get into this. Sorry. Before I go any further, I'm flying solo tonight. Matthew's taking care of some business right now, and some big business, and hopefully everything is going to go really good for Matthew. He sent me he had planned to come on this morning. We had texted back and forth. Then he texted me as a change of plans. Something's come up, so we'll see how that goes, and when the time's right, we'll make that announcement. Best of luck to Matthew and his family. So Jim Harbaugh, he interviewed with Atlanta. He had Michigan doing a contract. Wasn't going to happen. I think he knew all along that he was going to the Chargers. And the part, I listen to a lot of different NFL teams podcasts. And of course, I don't get to listen to all of them, every one of them. I listen to ones that's got some stories going on. And, I've been listening to the Chargers a lot this week because of that issue. And yesterday, they were talking about Harbaugh was coming back for a second meeting. He was flying out, and he was bringing his wife with him this time. Now, anytime a coach brings his wife with him, that's a pretty good sign that he's getting ready to take that job. There's getting ready to be a press conference, or there's getting ready to be something. She's getting introduced to all the people she needs to know and get things straight. But Harbaugh is now the coach, back in the NFL, coach of the Chargers. Let's see. He had a good run with the 49ers. He had the whole Colin Kaepernick stuff going on, and he still got to the Super Bowl a year, NFC Championship game a couple of years with them. So he's got a proven track record in the NFL. It's not like he's coming in this as just a really good college coach that's making the jump to the NFL. He's got a track record in the NFL, so I think he'll be okay. Kansas City, your reign as division champion could be coming to an end. He's looking for you now. Just today, the Falcons, who had been in the Bill Belichick, I think, had been for 2 interviews there, which was kind of funny. How would that have been? Belichick being the coach there after the whole 28-3 deal with the Falcons and the Packers in that Super Bowl. How would that have gone over with them? That would have been pretty funny. But Belichick is not going to be the new coach for the Falcons. Rams defensive coordinator Raheem Morris is going to be the new head coach. That was just announced this afternoon. Raheem Morris, I think he is. I want to say didn't he have some head coaching experience in Tampa Bay? Or I'm looking it up right quick, guys. Hold on. Yeah. Head coach for Tampa Bay for 2009, 2011, and then interim head coach for the Falcons in 2020. So he's got head coaching experience as well. He came from Hofstra and played. Did he play anywhere in the NFL? No, he's never. He's a 2-time Super Bowl champion though, with Tampa. So, it is what it is. We'll see. We'll see how he can do in Atlanta. You got a quarterback situation there. You got a young running back that could be a superstar. But I think you got to find a quarterback. I don't think Ritter is the answer there. Head coaching record of 21-38 as a head coach. So let's see. First victory, he went 0-7 his first year. First victory came in Week 9 against the Packers, and finished the year 3-13. Second season, they finished 10-6, barely missed the playoffs. So he started 10 rookies that year and finished with a winning record. Okay, let's see. I'm reading up here on him. So, decent record as a coach there. So we'll see how that goes for him. Looking, and I may butcher this guy's name. The Tampa Bay is the offensive coordinator. Dave Canales is now. The Panthers haven't officially announced it, but earlier today they said they are closing in on a deal to make him the next head coach. I guess the way he worked with Baker Mayfield, and this always gets me though, guys. His first year as an offensive coordinator, and he had Baker Mayfield. He did wonders when Baker Mayfield had over 4,000 yards passing, 28 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions, 64.3% completion percentage. I don't know. I always thought the offensive coordinator for the Lions, unless he's flat out told them no, that he's looking at somebody else, I always thought that would be the better hire for them. I would like to see that guy get a head coaching job, Ben Johnson, but okay, we'll see. Evidently, they see something like, could be wrong about this. Let's see. The NFL award finalists, 5 MVP contenders. Lamar is one of them, of course. Lamar Jackson, quarterback for the Ravens. Josh Allen, quarterback for the Bills. Christian McCaffrey, running back for the 49ers. Dak Prescott, quarterback for the Cowboys. And Brock Purdy, quarterback for the 49ers. I'm sure Lamar will get this, and he deserves it. He does deserve it. He's had a great regular season, and the first game of the playoffs, he looked really good. I could be wrong this year, guys. We'll see. I really think Lamar gets that with Dak's side of the question. I mean, sorry, Cowboy fans, but Dak is not going to get MVP. That last game in the playoffs, and I know you can't be judged. You're not supposed to be judged by that, but that's going to sit in a lot of people's mind. That always sits in your mind. What have you done for me lately syndrome. But yeah, that is not going to happen. Dak won't get MVP after that. Vic Fangio done with the Dolphins, and now reportedly will be the Eagles' new defensive coordinator. The Eagles' defensive coordinator, after that collapse they had, has actually got head coaching interviews. Dak was so hot and cold. I don't know who you are, a Facebook user, but you're right. He's inconsistent. Has been his whole career. Have a great knockout game. The thing with Dak, and I know there'll be some Cowboy fans that disagree with me. The majority of the big games that Dak is in, I don't know if it's the pressure or what. Brian again. It's Brian Mullen. What's up, buddy? The majority of the big games, like take for instance this year, you look at the Cowboys schedule, and I'm going to pull it up here. You look at the Cowboys schedule this year and what they did in those games with teams that have winning records. It wasn't pretty. It was not pretty at all. Let's see. The Giants, okay, they blow out the Giants and the Jets. They lose to the Cardinals. Cardinals, not a team with a winning record. That game was beat the Patriots. 49ers, they go out to San Francisco. They get blown away 42-10. Chargers, they barely squeak by 2017. Rams, okay, the Rams, playoff team. But the Rams hadn't really caught their hot streak at that time. And was Stafford playing in that game? I can't remember. I don't know if Stafford played that game out. They wiped out the Rams 43-20. Lose to the Eagles, another team with a winning record. Beat up on the Giants and the Panthers and the Commanders. Seattle comes to town. They barely get by Seattle. They beat Philadelphia. So you got a win over two. Hush, dogs. My dogs love to get in here on when I'm. All right, that's enough. I know you don't like Dak, but you don't have to. Anyway, so that beats two teams with a winning records. Buffalo beats them. Molly, that's enough. Buffalo with a win 31-10. See how much respect I get around here. Buffalo gets a win 31-10. The Dolphins beat them 22-20. So there's two right there. The Lions, and we all know about that game. We don't want to get into that because some Cowboy fans will get butthurt about that. But none of the big games he shows up in. I don't know if the pressure gets to him or what, but it's just he's hot and cold. Like you said, Brian, he's hot and cold. He's inconsistent. Playoff game, he did not show up. Everybody say, well, he had 400 yards. Yeah, in garbage time. When the game was on the line in the first quarter and a half before they got put away, he was non-existent. He was throwing a pick six. He should have had 3 or 4 interceptions. There was one right at the end zone that he should have. It should have been an interception by the Packers, and that would have took away that touchdown right before the half that made it 27-7. So, Dak will not be there. That's for sure as an MVP. The fact he's even up there kind of surprises me. Let's see. Cliff Kingsbury interviewing for offensive coordinator jobs, interviewing with the Raiders, interviewing with the Steelers. I'm not so sure I want Cliff Kingsbury as my offensive coordinator. I mean, he's a, some people can be a good. He interviewed with the Eagles, okay, too as well. Some people can be really good coordinators and suck at head coaching, and he sucked at head coaching. I listened to a Steelers podcast, and they actually had a clip of one of the Cardinals reporters asking him what was the problem with Kingsbury as head coach. Time management, timeout, managing his timeouts, and there was something else too that he didn't do well as a head coach. But could he be a good offense coordinator? Yeah, he could be a really great offense coordinator, but I'm not sure. I mean, I know you got to take a chance sometimes, but this, I'm telling you, as a Steeler fan, this little stretch we're in right now, yeah, we made the playoffs, but this little stretch, and I've said it on here, and I've defended Tomlin, and I know he did with the quarterback situation to get to the playoffs, he did a good job. But this little celebration every year of us being barely above 500 is getting old, and especially when we don't win a playoff game. I know they're gonna extend him, which is fine. You know, I'm not gonna be like some of the other fans and say okay, but he's got to prove it that he can have he can get the talent in there. For one thing, your GM's got to get the talent in there. Another way, your coach has got to find. Pat Freiermuth made the comment after the loss to the Bills in the playoffs about them getting hot and then finding their identity. He said, we cannot wait this long to find our identity. Thank you, Brandon Hodges. To find our identity this late in the year. We have to find it earlier in the year. We have to know it going into the regular season what our identity is. And that's been the case for about 3 years now with Pittsburgh. They didn't know their identity until it's too late. And then you have to sit there the last week of the year and wait for help from other teams. You never want to do that as a football team. Any kind of sports team, you never want to have to wait and depend on somebody else to get you in the playoffs. So hopefully that'll be a different story this year. We'll see. A lot of question marks for Pittsburgh coming up. Let's see. What do we got here? So evidently Sirianni is going to stay in Philadelphia. A lot of questions. A lot of Eagles fans calling for his head, calling for him to be gone. But he's going to be back. Titans hired a new head coach. So there's another one. We haven't talked about that. Cincinnati Bengals offensive coordinator Brian Callahan as their new head coach. He's 39. He was with the Bengals for the last 5 seasons. This is what we're dealing with, guys. These are a lot of unknown names at coach now, and you're going to have to see how they do. I mean, they got to have the chance. It's going to be. Commanders still don't have a head coach yet. The Panthers promoted Dan Morgan to general manager, so we'll see. Browns general manager said he would absolutely love to re-sign Joe Flacco. I'm not sure if Flacco wants to go through a whole year. Maybe he wants to sit his couch for half the year and then come out and work his magic the last half of the year, last couple months of the year. Ron Rivera interviewing for the defensive coordinator's job in Philly. I don't think he'll get it. We were talking about that. Fangio is going to be it's reportedly going to be the new Eagles defensive coordinator. Packers are looking for a new defensive coordinator. Joe Barry will not be back as defensive coordinator. Been there for 3 years. The team is still discussing the possibility of keeping him in a different role. This is a team, and we'll talk about it in just a few minutes. This is a team that's on the rise, a young team that made big strides the last half of the year, getting behind the quarterback. Jordan Love at quarterback, which he lit it up. The wide receiver core is young. The running back's not so young, but still not old either. They hit their stride at the right time. Unfortunately, for the Packers fans, they came up a little short the other night, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. Let's see. I think that's about all the news we need to talk about. Browns and Eagles have requested an interview with Chargers offensive coordinator Kellen Moore. Now, that was another topic that the Chargers podcast talked about. Would Kellen Moore, in his first year as offensive coordinator with the Chargers, didn't exactly set the world on fire, but Herbert was hurt a lot. Would he be retained as offensive coordinator with the Chargers with Harbaugh coming in, or would Harbaugh want to bring in? Harbaugh want to call his plays and bring an offensive coordinator in? That's a good question. We haven't heard, but I know that the Bears requested an interview with Kellen Moore earlier before Harbaugh was announced as the head coach, and the Chargers blocked it. Now, that could have been just in case Harbaugh didn't take the job and decided, okay, they've got to keep him in place. They got to keep their offensive coordinator in place there. So, I mean, that could have been the case. Now we'll see if they grant them permission to give him an interview and to move on if they want to get rid of it. So I'm looking, man, and everywhere you look on Facebook now, people are doing mock drafts, and I love a freaking mock draft. But man, it's way too early, guys. It's way too early. But we'll see how they go. I'm already looking at stuff. Believe me, I am. But you still got a ways to go for the mock draft. I usually try to wait till after the Super Bowl before I start really rolling into the mock draft part. All right. AFC divisional round was this past weekend. And man, some good games and one not so good game. And let's start off Houston and Baltimore. Houston, and I made the pick. Me and Matthew both picked Houston to win this because Houston was on a roll. C.J. Stroud had lit it up. And Baltimore's track record in the playoffs here lately, not the best in the world. And we've made sure you knew that. And the way it started out, the first quarter, Baltimore, it was deadlocked in the first quarter. Deadlocked at halftime. But the end of the second half, it really seemed like Houston had the momentum. The defense was getting to Lamar. They sacked Lamar 3 times. But the thing that worried me in that first half was Houston's offense. Houston's offense was stale. I don't know if it was nerves or what. They had no running game. You got your leading rusher with 22 yards in the game. And, granted, they had to give up. In the second half, they had to give up on the running game. But total offense of that game, and give credit to Baltimore's defense, Houston had 213 yards of total offense. But here's the thing. And we talked about when they beat who did they beat in the first round? I'm drawing a blank. Anyway, when they won their first round game, I made the comment, C.J. Stroud, getting to the playoffs, it's a different atmosphere. You're gonna have to step it up. And he did that first game. But this game, he didn't make mistakes, but he didn't make the plays he made in the I'm looking now, guys. Sorry. In the playoff game, he didn't make the plays he did in that playoff game. And give credit to Baltimore's defense. They're a heck of a defense. They made the plays. They stopped the second half. It was a total shutdown of Houston shut out the second half. Baltimore's offense got moving. Lamar rushing for touchdowns, threw 2 touchdowns. I think he threw for 2 and ran for 2. So, yeah. Right now, Baltimore's on top. What can I say? I'll give credit where credit's due, and even to the Baltimore Ravens. The only touchdown Houston gets is a punt return TD right there before halftime that tied it up at 10. And that's when the momentum shifted. Probably the worst thing for Houston was halftime, because they came out in the second half and just, especially on offense, did not look good. And excuse me, the Ravens, the offense, just third quarter, you got 17 points in third quarter, and they put it away 34-10. So not the best. I mean, it was cold out there. No, the weather wasn't, I don't think it was any rain. No precipitation, 27 degrees. But, Baltimore gets a win 34-10. They move on to the AFC Championship game. So the second half of the Saturday games, Green Bay, the upstart Green Bay Packers, traveled to San Francisco to take on the number 1 seed 49ers. And this game, I didn't get to see a whole lot. I actually fell asleep. It had been a long day at work, and I had to get up early to go to work the next morning. Rain at this game, which always is a factor. I mean, 59 degrees. So it wasn't cold. I know the Baltimore people Buffalo people like 59 degrees. Don't even complain about any rain if you're playing in 59 degree weather. But the Packers actually, 7-6 at halftime, and then the Packers the third quarter go up 21-14. And because I looked, I think I woke up and it was still going on, and I looked and it was 21-14 in the fourth quarter, and I was like, oh Lord, dude, this is going to be one of those upsets. Yeah, key plays at times, and this guy's going to Love is going to learn. He threw 2 interceptions, 2 costly interceptions, but he's young. He's going to get there. He's already proved that. He made a lot of plays that kept them in this game, that had them in the lead. So, you've got, with a young team, you go back and look at some of these teams that ended up being great Super Bowl teams, and you've got playoff games that taught you a lesson. And this is probably going to be one of those games, as Christian McCaffrey just wheeled the 49ers to his win. Brock Purdy, I got to say something about this, because some of you people out there in the media and some of you fans out there that want to talk about this guy, he had 23 for 39, 252 yards of TD and no interceptions. Did he play his best game? No. Debo went out. When you lose your best receiver, or one of your best receivers, it's going to make a difference. And you saw that in the Cleveland game. You saw it in this game. But he overcame all that, and they still won. Christian McCaffrey, second half, goes off. And before Debo goes out, these are not god-awful stats. Is Debo going to be back? Shoulder injury. He avoided any internal structural damage, what they're saying. I don't know. He's still a game-time decision. I guess we'll hear about that tomorrow or Saturday. He's probably going to be game time for him. And would I be surprised if he didn't play? I would not be surprised if he didn't play. So looking here at the Packers had 4 turnovers in a playoff game against the number 1 seed. You can't have 4 turnovers and expect to win. But you came within 3 points of doing that. That's impressive there. This is a young team, like I said. Watch out. Detroit, you're going to have some competition in the NFC North next year. So you better watch out. You better better do what you got to do tonight and take care of business. Or not tonight, but this weekend, excuse me, and take care of business. But the 49ers managed to get the win. A late touchdown by Christian McCaffrey, and 49ers move on 24-21. So first two games, one really bad game, one takes it down to the end. Then we had Sunday games, and we open up with the Detroit Lions, everybody's favorite, except all you Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears, and Minnesota Vikings fans. Detroit Lions hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Baker Mayfield. Now, we picked Detroit to win this, but I wouldn't have been surprised, guys, if they had lost this game. Baker Mayfield playing really good ball right now, and it's deadlocked pretty much the whole game. 10-10 at the half, and I mean, both teams traded field goals in the first quarter, traded touchdowns in the second quarter, so they were right there neck and neck with each other. The second half, turnovers, it really cost. Which one interception? One of Baker Mayfield's interception was a tip ball. And did you see that guy? The guy threw the ball. The guy that intercepted, I can't remember what his name was, threw the ball to Baker Mayfield on the sidelines. I'm surprised I didn't get, the way things are now, I'm surprised I didn't get a tone penalty. Mike Evans has a great game, 8 catches, 147 yards, a touchdown. But it's not enough, as you know, the Lions, excuse me. The Lions pull up 31-17, and then Mayfield hits Mike Evans. They go for 2, and they're within 8. They get the ball back deep in their own territory late in the game, and probably the worst throw Baker Mayfield I've seen him make all year. He throws one, and I don't know what he was thinking. Guy had great coverage across the middle, intercepted. I got to say this, Jahmyr Gibbs, excuse me. Big game for him. 9 carries, 74 yards. That big touchdown, that 31-yard touchdown at the start of the fourth quarter really gave the momentum to the Lions. And then Goff, what can you say about Jared Goff? He has done an incredible job. You think about this guy. This guy was part of that high-powered Rams offense, and all of a sudden he's not good enough anymore, and they trade him to the Lions for Stafford. A lot of people, that would have really devastated you. You would have lost confidence. But this guy, I mean, he was still young when he left the Rams. He hasn't let that phase him. Look what he's done now. He has taken the Lions to an NFC Championship game. Their first NFC Championship game since 1991 when they faced the Redskins. The Redskins tore them up in that game. Let's hope this is not a repeat for them. But the Lions get to win 31-23. I still wonder about that reporter, that lady that asked Todd Bowles if he had the I wonder if she asked him after the game, did the weather have any factor in you guys losing that game? And he would said again, they play in a dome, right? So, the key to this game was the turnover battle. Like I said, 2 turnovers for the Bucs, none for the Lions, 2 touchdown, pretty much game near the end, and the Lions go on, like we said, move on to the NFC Championship game, 31-23 over the Bucs. So we've got one championship game set, and then the last of the divisional games, and everybody was looking forward to this game. Kansas City playing, Patrick Mahomes playing his first playoff game, not Super Bowl, playoff game on the road. Playoffs on the road. And this game was just back and forth, guys, back and forth. And, you think about that playoff game 2 years ago where they scored so many points in the final quarter, and you're thinking this is going to be a barn burner. And really, the first half, it looked like it was going to be that way. The first quarter, 3-3, deadlock at 3. Taylor Swift up in the booth. Jason Kelsey actually up in the booth, and before the game, seen out there with the Bills Mafia. And Jason had a few adult beverages, I'll put it that way, because Jason ends up shirtless in the crowd before long, up there supporting his brother. But and his brother did a good job. His brother gets back on track. I think he had two touchdown receptions. Like I said, they're just going back and forth. I mean, it's 17-13 at the half, Buffalo. And the final quarter was the difference as Kansas City's defense shuts down Buffalo. They get a late touchdown or an early touchdown in the fourth quarter and pretty much hold the Bills down. A late missed field goal, and I'm telling you, as a Bills fan, the Bills fan, I feel bad for you. The wide right curse rears its ugly head again as Bass misses a field goal that would have tied it up late in the game. And the Chiefs move on 27-24. Now, Stephon Diggs, wide receiver 1. Let a catch go right through his hands. Cannot blame Josh Allen like you wanted to that last playoff game. You cannot blame Josh. I think it was the loss to the Bengals last year in the playoffs. You cannot blame him this year like you wanted to last year because this was not his fault. Josh Allen, I heard somebody say people want to celebrate Josh Allen, but Josh Allen does a little bit of everything for the Bills. Running the ball, passing the ball. He's what do you have? 2 rushing touchdowns, and a passing touchdown. I mean, this guy puts his body on the line every night in this game for them. Mahomes, 17 for 23, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. But the defense for the Chiefs, like I said, before we started the playoffs, so the defense is gonna have to be the one to carry this team through the playoffs. And they did that fourth quarter. They shut the Bills down that fourth quarter and got the win 27-24. So the Bills unfortunately go down again. The Chiefs are like a thorn in their side. And what can you say? What do you do with the Bills now? Do you need more weapons? I mean, I know they were without Gabe Davis, their wide receiver 2. Shakir filled in nicely though, but I don't know. I don't know what the answer is in Buffalo. I think you need another weapon. I really do. I think James Cook was not a bad running back in the playoffs and down the stretch, but there's something missing. There's something missing there. I don't know what it is in these big games. It's kind of like Dak, except they don't make the mistakes. They just come up short. Not many mistakes made here. Let me see. Was there any turnovers in this game? One for the Bills, 2 for the Chiefs. So, yeah, 2 turnovers. 1 turnover for the Bills. What can you say about Kansas City? They keep getting it done. And then they're in the AFC Championship game. What is this, the 5th or 6th straight year for them? It's a dynasty, I guess you say. So this weekend, the first game, AFC Championship game, 3:00 at Baltimore. I think I'm going to surprise you with this one. Baltimore will win this game. Baltimore will beat the Chiefs. Mahomes will go home, and Lamar will go to the Super Bowl. You guys are probably surprised, but I think Baltimore's got the firepower to beat the Chiefs. the Chiefs defense is going to have to figure out a way to watch. You're going to have to spy on Lamar and keep him in the pocket and get pressure on him. Make him think, make him make these mistakes like he has in the past. But can they do it? I don't know. I mean, Mark Andrews might be coming back next week, probably coming back. That's going to be another weapon for the Ravens. I got the Ravens winning this in a close one. Lions and 49ers. You know, I want to say the Lions. I really want to. And the 49ers play like they did this past weekend. The Lions probably will beat them. But I think the 49ers are going to get there. It's going to be 49ers and Ravens in the Super Bowl rematch. Sorry, Lions fans. My heart is with you, Detroit, because I want you to win. I want you to win the Super Bowl. But I don't think it's going to happen. Anyway, but what do I know? I'm like Mel Kiper. Who am I? So that's going to set it up for the Super Bowl. My pick for the Super Bowl. And if you saw the post, last week or the week before, some TV station was talking about when they announced Reba McEntire was going to sing the national anthem. Usher and Reba McEntire. Usher will be halftime entertainment, and Reba McEntire will be singing the national anthem at the Super Bowl matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the San Francisco 49ers. How did that come out? How did that get out, dude? I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but why would that be? Why would they be saying that? It's amazing. Okay. You see, I've got my new toys up here, guys. We're trying to do some different things, make us look more professional. God, we need that help as much as we can. But thanks to Bubba Rosenbaum from the Sports Objective for helping me out with these overlays. The On the Fly's got them now too. If you check that out, you'll see that coming up soon. We got a lot of stuff coming up. I'm working on some interviews, guys, and hopefully you guys will look at down here at the bottom. I've made it easy for you. Like, follow, comment, subscribe. There's all the links. Please, guys, please subscribe. And wherever you listen to this podcast at, if it's Apple, Spotify, Good Pods, Podchaser, wherever, give us a 5-star review. That's all we ask of you. I really want to see the Final Score and On the Fly take off this year. I really want to get it out there where we're a top tier podcast and get it out there to a lot of people. But it's up to you guys to help. I just need help. That's all I'm asking. Just need some help. Give us that 5-star review and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Keep those comments coming. If you got show ideas, we do a lot of top 10s on both shows. If you got show ideas, let us know. We'll bring you on the show and let you talk about your ideas. If you've got, I'm working on something where maybe you guys can leave messages up here, and I'll play the messages up here, or like a question. If you want to leave questions, here, and I'll play your questions and answer your questions as best I can. But guys, thank you so much for all you do. Brian, thank you for being in here with us tonight. Brandon Hodges, thank you, bud, for the like. Matthew, hope everything is going well. Matthew he might not be. I might be flying solo for a little while on the Final Score. So if you guys, Brian, you want to come on and co-host, we'll have you on here, bud. You let me know. I can get you going with some good stuff, with some Chicago Bears talk. But anybody that wants to fill in for Matthew while he might be out. I don't know for sure if he'll be out, but we'll see. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this week. Hey, if you're a wrestling fan, tune in this weekend at 8 o'clock Saturday night, guys. I'm going to be the triple threat main event. I'll be going solo. I'll be doing a watch along to one of my favorite pay-per-view events of the year. You know, I love WrestleMania, but Royal Rumble 2024 Saturday night, I'll be doing a watch along with that. and hopefully I can stay up through those. I'm old, but I have to get some no-dos or something like that to stay up and be able to, because those pay-per-views last a long time now. So we'll see about doing that, but make sure you tune in, guys. We'll have the links up here for that. But you guys have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next week on the Final Score.